Hey all, it's Karen and I am back for my 18-week update. I am 18 weeks and 3 days today, so I guess I'm a little bit late on this, but on time compared to everything else. And I feel like this week I have so much stuff to actually talk about. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is something that got left out of my last vlog because of my battery dying. I didn't realize until I was editing all the stuff that I had been talking about that got left out, that the camera had died before I noticed. So the biggest symptom I actually had in the first trimester, and it has continued, although it's not as bad, is acne. That has been pretty much my worst symptom. It started right around 4 or 5 weeks. So not too long after I found out, I was completely covered in acne. It was all on my forehead, and it kind of started to get down into my chin. I don't know if you can see it now. I have to wear makeup all the time now because it's so bad. I get really bad zits, worse than I think I've ever had before. I don't think I've ever had it this bad in my previous pregnancies. I remember in my first pregnancy, and maybe the one with my second son, I had spots on my back. But I don't think it was anywhere near as bad as I'm having kind of on my face now. So that's something that got left out of the first vlog that I think it's just been my biggest symptom so far. It did kind of taper off around, I think it was around 16 or 17 weeks. It calmed down a lot, but it is still there. So I'm really kind of struggling with that. It does make me feel like a teenager again. So on my last update, I said I had been feeling flutters from the baby, but I hadn't felt like proper kicks yet. And that changed the night I had filmed that update. So I think I filmed that at 17 weeks, 0 days. I started feeling proper little thumps, and they've gotten stronger every day since then. It's awesome. I notice I feel the baby mostly when I sit down and I'm relaxing. I feel it a little bit in the kind of mid-morning around 11 o'clock. That's probably because I tend to eat breakfast between 10 and 10:30, so that's kind of when all the sugar hits the baby, I'm sure. And then again, a little bit in the afternoon and a lot at night. I'm noticing between 9 and 11 o'clock, I get a lot of really big thumps, and I have felt it from the outside. I felt it at 18 weeks, 1 day, I felt it from the outside, and I haven't gotten my husband to feel it yet. We've tried a few times, but I think it's still kind of hard to notice if you don't feel it from the inside at the same time, if that makes sense. The kicks are still very, very low. They're like right where my underwear sits, but in the last few days, maybe the last 2 days, I've noticed it's coming up a little bit more. So now it's about halfway between where my underwear would sit and where my belly button is, which is just, it's crazy to think that we're already that far along that I can feel the baby flipping around and kicking and stuff. Up till, at least I said in my last update, the biggest thing for me so far, the most noticeable difference between this pregnancy and my other ones, was that I hadn't felt any morning sickness. No nausea, no throwing up, and in my other pregnancies I threw up daily. This kind of changed at 17 weeks. I don't know what happened, but I started feeling really nauseous in the mornings, and there was one day about halfway through the week that I actually threw up. So I don't know if it was a tummy bug or kind of late morning sickness. I don't know. My old morning sicknesses, like with my other pregnancies, would last until about this late, so I'm not quite sure why I felt that way. It has pretty much stopped. I don't think I've been feeling queasy for the last few days, so that's been nice. I was really kind of scared that it might come back this late and then I'd be dealing with second trimester morning sickness. That would be awful. The biggest symptom I think that's new from this last week was around 17 weeks. I started feeling really low, really blue. I would call it depressed. Now I've never been diagnosed depressive or anything like that. I've never dealt with, you know, I don't know. I've never dealt with actual clinical depression, but something happened around 17 weeks where every day I had no energy to do anything. I didn't want to move. I could hardly play with the kids. I would spend a couple hours crying straight. And it wasn't mood swings. I didn't kick out of it. It's not like I would cry and then a couple hours later I'd feel fine. Like the whole day and it was all of last week, so between 17 and 18 weeks, I was just feeling really crappy. I just, I had no motivation. I was so sad. I couldn't stop crying. And then it kind of snowballs because I'm crying because I'm just depressed and upset about life for whatever reason. And then I just feel like a really crappy mom because I just can't bring myself to play with the kids, and then they're, you know, in the playroom playing with each other, and I'm just, you know, in the front room crying on the floor. Luckily that has seemed to turn around a little bit. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm kind of getting some motivation back, so I don't know what that was, if it was just life stress or a big surge of hormones or what, but I don't ever want to feel that way again because it was really hard. It was just really tough. Another symptom that has really gotten more intense this last week is the crazy dreams. I've always been able to kind of remember my dreams. I tend to have kind of crazy dreams. And obviously they tend to get a little bit worse during pregnancy, but this last week, especially the last 2 or 3 days, I've had really, really vivid, really terrifying dreams that when I wake up, I'm usually up. Like, I can't go back to sleep. I'm afraid to go back to sleep, to go back into that dream. It's been awful. It's been terrible, and it's so bad because I have these awful dreams where I'm, you know, running from a killer, or someone's trying to kill me, or something really gruesome like other people being murdered. It has a lot to do with death, and I wake up feeling exhausted. I don't feel like I rested at all. I felt like I was in a murder flick or something. And so that's been, I think, kind of taking a toll on me because I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm not sleeping very well. So I'm gonna look into different ways where I can maybe get around that, or have a more peaceful sleep, or more positive dreams. I don't mind having vivid dreams if they're nice things. It's just the running and the being terrified. It just leaves me shaken and exhausted. So that's been really bad this week. When it comes to cravings, I haven't really had many cravings. I have been very into sweets though. I mean, I'm always kind of into sweet food, but the last couple weeks, maybe the last 2 or 3 weeks, like, I have to have sweets in the house. I have to have dessert for dinner. I've been known to go out after dinner and get something if there's nothing in the house, because I have to have like a cookie or some ice cream or something sweet. That's been kind of annoying. I haven't really gained any weight yet. I am a bit overweight to begin with. At my last doctor's appointment, I think I had gained maybe 2 pounds this pregnancy, 2 or 3 pounds. And by my home scale, it hasn't budged since that day. I know there's a difference between my scale and the doctor's scale because they weigh me fully clothed in the middle of the day, and I tend to weigh myself naked right after I've gone to the bathroom in the morning and have had nothing to eat. So by my scale, I haven't changed more than a couple pounds, and it's definitely been less than 5 pounds. So I would like to kind of stay on track with that. I tend to finish my pregnancies around 210. I feel like a lot has changed this week, but I think it's almost a little exciting because I'm finally starting to feel like the pregnancy is affecting my life. I feel like, okay, maybe I really am pregnant. I'm feeling kicks now. I'm feeling emotional, and it's affecting my dreams and my eating habits. And so it's kind of real. I think I might have a baby in my stomach. So that's awesome. I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of bittersweet because I'm so excited to feel like kicks. That's, I think, one of my favorite parts of pregnancy is the kicks and the rolls, and you know, feeling it reminds me I'm almost halfway done with this pregnancy, and I love being pregnant. I really do, and it's gonna be so sad to not do that anymore. But that's life, right? Is letting go of things that you care about. So to end on a depressing note, I guess, I think that's it for this week. So I'm gonna do my belly shot, and then hopefully I'll see you guys next week. I hope you guys have a good week. Thanks for watching. Bye.